This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Well, that was the opening. How did you like that?
Nice.
Kind of gives everybody the little like, whoa, there's a lot going on here.
Lots to think about.
Right? Yeah. And there's a lot. I tell you what, there's a lot for those who are going to be watching this on Patreon or Rumble. There's been a lot going on today, and it's the day after the 4th of July, and
Yes.
it's a rainy day here in the States. You are coming to us from Australia, correct?
That's correct. Yes, Queensland, Australia.
Cool. I know a couple people there. I've got a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues, a lot of constituents there in Australia on both sides. In Queensland, and we got Queensland?
Western Australia?
Yeah, and in East and West. So
yeah, Perth out in Western Australia, and then you've got Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne here on the East Coast.
Yeah. Yep. So for those who are going to be watching this, hello and welcome wherever you might be on the spaceship we call Earth. This is Conscious Radio Network Project Truth. We're still trying to build there's not too many people out there that are willing to talk about the stuff that we might potentially be talking about today. We kind of go down the rabbit hole, and I kind of discuss things that would otherwise people would be frowning on or be like, I don't want to disappear type stuff. Or like you said in that poster you got behind you there, the I want to believe the X-Files, Agent Mulder.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's there's especially today. And for those who have yet to subscribe, follow, please like, share, comment, and of course, listen to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or of our special programming called The Seance, which is on the YouTube channel and all the platforms you see down there below. So today we have Craig Harry, a hypnotist, past life regression specialist, a paranormal researcher with 25 years experience. Craig shares his fascinating mysteries, lives, spirit communication, and his encounters with UFOs and aliens. So, Craig, let's start off with something. What is the most profound experience you have thus far encountered when it comes to UFO, ufology, extraterrestrial experiences that we have been a lot, most recently within the last quite a few years?
Hi Paul, thanks for having me. No worries. Yes, that's what started me as a paranormal researcher, having a personal experience. I was 7 at the time with my family, and we were traveling at night for Christmas holidays. We're in Newcastle in the Hunter Valley, traveling up to Coffs Harbour here, which is the northern coast of New South Wales, nice holiday area. And we were travelling at night because at Christmas time here in Australia, we have the heat. It's summer here in Queensland, so it was cooler to drive at night. And we noticed a bright red light out to our left toward the mountain range. And coming from a small town that has an army base nearby, we were always watching the helicopters, the army helicopters, and they had a big red navigational anti-collision light on the back of them. So we'd go, oh, it's an army helicopter. So we were watching this red light, but it wasn't flashing or strobing. It was staying a constant color. So we kind of had our curiosity, and we could tell it was moving against the star field. It was a nice, clear night, nice, silent night. And you could see it bobbing up and down slowly against the star field and against the silhouette of the mountain range, the shadow of the mountain range as well. So we just thought it was some sort of aircraft, but it was staying parallel with us, probably about a 20, 30 degree angle up in the sky from us. So we were winding down the windows trying to hear out of curiosity what sort of aircraft it was, because we were familiar with them. And we couldn't hear much, so we decided to pull over. The family decided to pull over and stop the engine and just listen and have a drink and stretch the legs. So as we pulled over, the light seemed to stop as well in midair, and then it just went vertically down into the bush, which maybe a couple of kilometres away. We were guesstimating. And we thought, oh, it's a helicopter. There you go. It's a helicopter, It just happened to go down into the bush at the same time we stopped, the problem solved. So stretched the legs, had a drink, got back into the car. And the moment the engine was turned on, my brother said, hey, it's back again. And we looked, and there it was again. Same altitude, same angle, same everything. It just popped up out of the bush to the same spot. So we turned off the engine again and listened, and it was dead silent. There was no helicopter noise, aircraft noise, nothing. And at that same time, we noticed the whole bush was silent too. There were no other sounds of insects or anything else. And in Australia, we have cicadas, and they're quite loud. So, yeah. Oh, they're loud. So you never get absolutely quiet in the Australian bush. But it was that night. So that's when we started to get that spooky feeling, and we were kind of like, okay, maybe start the car engine and let's keep going. So we kept going. There was not many people on the road, and we were the only people on that area of the road. So that was an added sort of uh-oh moment. We were all alone on this country road. And so we kind of increased our velocity toward the nearest town. And that's when, as we approached the small town, it just seemed to do a right angle and just take off like a shooting star over the horizon. And it was gone in a second. And we pulled in half startled to a service station with civilization. There were lights, there were things, there were people, and we felt safe then. And we asked the service station owner, was there any army bases or heliports or aerodromes or anything like that around the area? And he said, no, not around here. And he said, why? And we told him. And he said, oh, you're about the third people that said that's happened to you down that stretch of road this week, more or less. So we were like, ooh, okay. So when you witness that with your family, and you've got other witnesses, and you can all corroborate what you saw, and that stuck with me, and that got me curious. What's really going on here? So I just started from that tender age, just collecting anything I could, reading anything I could. And it just slowly grew from there. The more books you read, the more it leads to other books and other witnesses and other encounters, and you just slowly build up your knowledge of alien sightings, UFO sightings, and it's just grown from there, and it just keeps getting better and better. So that's been my first passion. And then my second passion is the researching through being a paranormal researcher into past life regressions, hypnosis, and the spiritual side. The funny thing is the two subjects are linked together. So if you don't understand one fully, you won't understand the other side of the coin fully, and how they link together to give you a bigger understanding of the phenomena.
Yeah, and the field of metaphysics. People always ask me, be like, okay, well, you have a doctorate in metaphysics. What's metaphysics? Right? And I'm like, okay, it's everything that physics doesn't want to talk about. It's what the mainstream doesn't talk about. But now metaphysics is becoming not so much a pseudoscience anymore, touching into the paranormal. I don't use supernatural anymore because it is natural. There's nothing supernatural.
No,
everything is natural.
Yeah,
how we perceive it, and especially when it comes to paranormal instances or experiences, it's always linked to the human nature. It wouldn't be paranormal if we weren't there to experience it.
Yeah.
So we just tag it as an unknown, unexplained, anomalous event.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, when it comes to the UFO aspect, it's kind of a double-edged sword that Army bases, military, we would kind of go, well, duh. Is it a potentially experimental aircraft? Well, there's many people out there that, I've known pilots. I still know a bunch of pilots, and military and otherwise private. And we have always felt as a global community that the industrial military complex worldwide, it's not just the United States, it's every country. No. Every country has its own industrial military complex.
Yeah.
That we are experimenting on things, reverse engineering things, that these, do you feel that some of these UFOs, whatever they are, they could potentially be our craft and they're experimenting on them, and they just were obviously, you ask the military, they're obviously going to say no. Well, we weren't doing this, we weren't doing that. Or true extraterrestrial craft, or drones, but are extraterrestrial. We know. The list could be endless of what they are. How, as far as your research, your findings thus far, what is your hypothesis as what they potentially are?
Right. From my research, I would say that in the early days, and let's say it started from 1947, Roswell, the first contact, and then 1952 when the first liaison was happening between the military-industrial complex and this non-human intelligence, what we would call, what we've always called ET or alien, just rebranding. But some people like it, I guess. It's trendy. I would say 99% have been extraterrestrial at that stage, because the hidden alien UFO research branch, MJ12, they were definitely trying to reverse engineer it. They were trying to work out how to do it. And from their point of view, it's like giving an iPhone to someone in, like, a tropical island who has a dugout canoe 100 years ago. It's like, here, make one of these. And it's like, how? How? Yeah. So one of the greats, the first whistleblower, was Bob Lazar from Area 51 at S4, and his story still holds up today with rigorous research. And he said they were still trying to reverse engineer it. They could get the parts working. They could actually get one of the craft flying on test flights. But as far as building their own, he was not aware that they could do that at that stage. In that saying, I think we've probably come to a point. When I say we, I mean the program MJ12. What they're doing is they're putting together a hybrid of an alien power source and maybe a rudimentary understanding of the anti-gravity amplifiers, and maybe they're building some sort of fuselage to put that into, man-made, and it can operate in our atmosphere, but it certainly isn't anywhere near what a true UFO is. So yes, it is possible. I would say probably 2% now could be US back engineered technology, but the vast majority is still alien technology, alien craft. Absolutely, and the alien agenda is still going ahead full steam, and these token gifts that are given to the program as part of this liaison program is unfortunately was agreed in 1952 that basically America and the Five Eyes, Australia being included in that, would stay silent on the interaction of alien species and their craft visiting Earth and interacting with our population, and to the point of abducting our citizens at night and doing the medical experiments and research on them, as long as they replace them by morning with no harm to them. So they were given the green light by our governments to study us and to explore their genetic DNA program. In return, the American government would get damaged alien craft to study and to back engineer, or even to do a MacGyver and make a hybrid sort of craft. It appears that certain UFO crash landings are on purpose to gift that UFO to that alien craft to the program, and that way that's their payment for allowing them to work in the shadows.
Yeah,
and it's not very nice. And the like you say, the military industrial complex, they're thinking of, we want technology, this is the highest technology we've ever seen, and the military is always aimed at having superior weapons against your enemy. So that's their aim. And if they're saying, you only want to abduct people and return them in the morning with maybe a mark on their body or a fuzzy hidden memory, that's fine. You don't want to keep them. Oh, okay. No, that's fine then. Because I'm well and sure that plenty of people have been sacrificed in the name of winning a battle or a war.
Yeah. And I feel too is with all the constituents and people I've talked to in some of my colleagues and stuff, that we are working with two factions. I mean, there's many different races of beings out there.
Yes.
There's two factions that are completely against each other. We got the benevolent races, and then we got the malevolent races out there. And it didn't I don't feel it really came to the head right after World War II in the 1940s during Roswell. That seemed to have been the precipice of that slap on the wrist of mankind, especially when we hit the nuclear level.
Yes.
We disturbed something, and then all of them were like, "Whoa, hold on a second! All right, you guys went way too far." That slap on the wrist, we're in timeout. However, the malevolent entities came here. They've always been working with us, but it got to the point where it's like, okay, they started infiltrating our governments a little bit more, working with the industrial military complex a little bit more. And I mean, look at the direct energy weapons we have today that we wish we probably would have had during World War II.
Yeah.
Aside from, I mean, what I feel what the industrial military complex owns and has and does not admit that they have today. If we had that during World War II, we wouldn't have needed the nuclear weapon. And
Well,
could have made
the
the
same approach.
devastation.
Well, that's the whole basis of why people say, why, if aliens are here and they're visiting us, why don't they land on the White House lawn? Why don't we have an open acknowledgement and greetings? And it's because you have to understand that they see us as children throwing rocks at each other, the human race. We're a bunch of angry monkeys compared to their civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to hand us a loaded gun.
No.
And that's what their technology would be. It's very powerful. And if we use it wrong, it's worse than atomic bombs.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about antimatter reactors.
Mm-hmm.
And antimatter gives you a far bigger bang for money than simply splitting the atom.
Yeah.
The atomic bomb only releases, I think, about 1 to 2% of the energy to mass ratio in the bomb. So that means that 98% doesn't get used. It's thrown away as fallout.
Yeah.
So that's how inefficient an atomic bomb is. But when you see an atomic bomb go off, you go, holy crap, it works.
Yeah.
Even if it has plutonium and uranium falling out of the sky over everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with what Bob Lazar was working on with antimatter is antimatter, when it hits matter, converts into 100% energy. So that's 100 times more powerful than an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he was saying that the size of your thumbnail, basically 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter of antimatter, could annihilate the size of America.
Oof.
That's how powerful antimatter is. So you can see, from an outside intelligence looking at Earth, all our nations fighting over territory and resources and everything, and we're not getting along, and we still consumed by, let's have the biggest weapon, the best weapon, to wipe out our enemies with. From their point of view, they don't want to add to the fire. So they're staying away, they're staying hidden. To a certain extent, there's an embargo on Earth that other species can visit, they can look, but don't interfere with the society.
Yeah.
They have to evolve themselves in their own time. They have to learn from their mistakes. So we're like a unique island with unique animals and zoology on it, and the scientists can visit under the cloak of invisibility, or try to leave at least a footprint as you can, minimum footprint, and not interfere with the ecosystem.
Yeah. And
The
this is I feel too that, this is obviously not this has happened before. Historically, in cosmic times, I feel too that we might be approaching a precipice of another deluge that similar to Atlantis, that the gods, for thousands of years we've been referring to God as as singular, but the gods have always been referred to in the plural throughout all the ancient texts.
yeah,
That we've been seeded by the Anunnaki, or these beings that have that from the heavens come to Earth,
yeah,
and many different races, but at what point it's like, do we start asking, go, hold on, we are not the big kids on the block, and we got to understand that there
Yeah.
are intelligent races out there that are like, you better be careful, or else we are going to be forced to choose whether we want to thin out the human race or completely take you out if you're not careful.
It's not so much taking us out like we're a threat.
Mhm.
It's like them looking at the ant farm going, well, we can see a big rock heading towards you. Will we intervene or not?
Yeah.
That's what they can do. We're no threat to them in the least.
Yeah.
But we are one of the most amazing ecosystems they've ever seen. Earth is so rich in life, they can't believe it compared to other planets that they know of. And the human species is unique. We are one of the most emotional creatures they have ever encountered.
Mhm.
So their main abduction program is studying our DNA of our emotions. And they really want to understand that. And to a certain extent, the Greys, they're really invested in humanity because we are the key to their evolution of emotions.
Yeah.
They pursued science in a very logical, cold, logical fashion, and they had minimum emotions, but they saw them more of a hindrance
Mm.
to their society. And so, to a certain extent, through DNA cloning, they even minimized their emotions even more to the state where they were almost robotic. They were very proud of being that cold and logical because their technology just advanced to super science.
Yeah.
But then they found out that through spirituality, that's what I'm saying, it's all connected, that somehow their machinery managed to detect or record the soul energy within a body and access that soul dimension, whether through telepathy or however. And they found out that the spiritual world is based on emotions. So you don't get rewarded as a soul for your knowledge. You get rewarded for your emotions and how you use them.
Mm.
So then the Greys worked out, oh, bugger, we went the wrong direction. So I don't know if it's been organized like, imagine the United Nations, okay? And you've got a small tropical island that will need help in saving their island from their own pollution and their own energy needs and things like this. You know, they could wipe themselves out. And you're a big, powerful country, but you need a unique thing from their island. So this United Nations says, well, how about that they'll help you in a cure for your disease, you know, and you can help them with their survival. But you got to do it covertly. Don't wreck their society.
Mm.
So it could be arranged that the Greys are allowed, they have permission to come to Earth to study us, to find the missing link of their DNA for their own DNA race. At the same time, they might help us with technology or protection in the future. So there has to be some sort of benefit either way, because from what I understand, other alien races are watching what the Greys are doing, and some aren't happy with how much interaction they're having with the US military, with the MJ-12. They think it's too much. They think they're interfering with our society too much, being too exposed, and they would prefer humans to evolve naturally. But the door was open in 1947 when they were studying the Trinity atomic bomb site in New Mexico, White Sands.
Mm.
In 1947, they were examining, oh, what do you know? The angry apes have split the atom. So they were very interested from that point of view. And at that time, the White Sands missile range were testing the V2 rockets that they captured from Germany.
Yeah.
And that's where they were being tested. To keep track of the missiles, they developed a high-energy Doppler radar to track the missiles. And it just so happened on that 2nd of July, 1947, that at night the radar picked up and lit up two UFOs, two alien craft that were flying past that area, monitoring it. It was enough energy to somehow interrupt the navigation system on both craft, and they collided.
Uh.
And one crashed north of Roswell, and the other one crashed further up, not near Aztec. I'll think of it. But there were two crash sites, and the Greys had the choice right then: do we send the mothership in and rescue them? You know, take all evidence, everything, take it in a second, or do we leave it? And we use this as an opportunity to start an interaction with human governments. So, in their wisdom, they said, we'll leave it. And only the smartest and most powerful people in the human race in this country, who only had the atom bomb at that stage, whoever approaches the material and takes the material and stores the material, are the most powerful people in the country.
Yeah. And
we'll contact them. And that's basically what happened in 1952, when they did have a face-to-face meeting at, again, Holloman Air Force Base at White Sands. And that's when the basic agreement was agreed to with Harry Truman about alien interaction and taking DNA. And in return, they would loan or gift some alien craft for us to study, and that's what Bob Lazar got to work on. And as David Grush has now stated, and Matthew Brown, who has blown the whistle on Immaculate Constellation, and the program is out there studying that, and the Greys are getting what they want. They're studying our DNA on a very long research program spanning many generations. So do the Greys want us to blow ourselves up? No, because we're the source of their research program, and they value it highly. So to a certain extent, would they intervene and stop us blowing ourselves up? Maybe. Or maybe they got enough samples that they don't care anymore. I don't know. I wouldn't want to put it to the test.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I do know there are other races that would like to protect Earth because we're so unique. So could they stop a nuclear war? They could certainly minimize it. Their technology is amazing. They could definitely minimize it, minimize the damage. And as we see, there's a 12-mile asteroid that's suddenly crossing our solar system as we speak. Now, they're skimming Mars. That's how close it is. It's quite a danger. Luckily for us, it's skimming Mars and not Earth. If that was heading to Earth with the speed it's going, we wouldn't, short of firing a few nukes at it, we wouldn't be able to do much. And it'd be like the death of the dinosaurs all over again, except it'd be us this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we have had meteorite impacts in the past. And as Graham Hancock has his research on the Younger Dryas impact that 12,000 years ago that ended the megafauna like mammoths and sloths and everything. There was definitely a asteroid impact in Europe and North America that wiped out the large creatures and wiped out human advancements at that stage and sent us back to hunter-gatherers again. So there have been disasters in the past, definitely, that have wiped out man's advancements. And there's definitely been alien intervention back in the past too, as the folklores and the stories talk about the sky people that have come down and helped them with agriculture and science and maths and advanced knowledge.
Mm.
So maybe we've been reset a couple of times over the thousands of years, and I hope that this time we're more advanced now than just tribal nomads. That they'll intervene in a way, if we need to, that we'll be able to see it for ourselves. That they definitely exist, and they're out there thinking of our welfare. It'd be a great way to introduce themselves if they did deflect an asteroid from Earth or saved us from nuclear war. It'd be a great way to introduce themselves without mankind going into a hysterical meltdown.
Yeah.
Even though I think the Earth needs it, because we're definitely like children throwing stones at each other, and I think we need a third element to wake ourselves up and get us on a different track in life.
Not only that, I think we need a reset when it comes to a changing of the guard, so to speak. Is we need to get rid of these old systems that do not serve the highest and best for the human race. You know, when it comes to the monetary system, when it comes to society, when it comes to the greed, when it comes
Yes.
to trying to focusing our priorities on the survival rather than all this vanity that doesn't get us anywhere.
Yeah.
And fighting, it's like,
Yeah.
hold on, it's like we don't need war. We don't need war. It's all it is. It's part of the monetary system. It's part of the greed
Yeah.
mechanism for the establishments.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to get away from. And it's
I live in hope. I live in hope that even just the announcement worldwide that we're not alone, just that simple announcement,
Mhm.
like I said, that'll shake everything. And we do need a shake up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, humans are very flexible. We've got used to a lot of things, and we live with a lot of things. And heck, atom bombs are new, and they could end the world 12 times over in 30 minutes. And here we are worrying about our groceries and what bills to pay.
Yeah.
We live with it.
Yeah.
We live with it.
I think we're closer now. We are closer now than we've ever been, especially within the last few thousand years, with the acceptance of extraterrestrial life other than our own. Even though it might be a little sketchy here, especially for those who are so far disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
But I think it's a desensitis. They're trying to desensitize us. They're just slowly easing it into entertainment, media,
Yes.
just the chatter. Just keep the
Yes.
chatter. You keep that chatter out there for a long period of time. When something does happen, when
Yeah.
that craft lands on the White House lawn or wherever, when that actually happens, people are not going to be like, "Oh my God, holy shit!" Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
they're slowly trying to desensitize us. When
Yeah. You're correct.
don't know.
Well, they have to.
Yeah.
When I say they, it's MJ12, the program which it pulls the strings on all the US government, military, and everything.
Yeah.
They're the dark government that controls
Mm-hmm.
from afar, but they do control. Now, it's a twofold. Regular government has never acknowledged openly UFOs, abductions, all of that, and because they've known any politician that speaks about it gets a tap on the shoulder or a threat from the MJ12, because they don't want to expose the problem while they're getting as much technology as they can from the ET. But at the same time, they do realise, well, if we get a different branch of ET that decides, right, now is the time to make contact with humans, they're ready for it, how are we going to get the human population ready for that day?
Yeah.
And you're right. Hollywood was the first step. And ever since 1952, B-grade black and white sci-fi movies took off. They just took off, and they just kept pumping them out. Turns out that 50% of them were bankrolled by the Pentagon.
Mm.
And Colonel Philip Corso said that's how we got desensitizing of the subject out there, that people get used to it. And at the same time, it blanketed true sightings, that when people said, I saw a flying saucer or whatever, oh, you saw that movie when the earth stood still, and
Yeah.
So it was very clever. It was a twofold. You could debunk and discredit true contacts and true sightings by saying you just saw Hollywood, but Hollywood was built upon the real information. So is disinformation a great program at disinforming?
And not only
But
that,
at the same
look at now within the last, just the last couple decades. I mean, all the work with Whitley Strieber. I mean, now his name is even more recognized now.
Yes.
And Benny and Barney Hill with those stories, and now with I think they're in 18, 19, if not 20 seasons of History Channel's Ancient Aliens. Everybody now knows that show. Everybody, and the stuff that they show is more historical than and just bring in the whole ancient astronaut type theory and stuff like that.
With the historical aspect.
Yeah,
I think that is. I mean, back in the day, I'm not sure how far back that would be, but if there was an ancient alien show back 20 years ago, I don't think it would have been able to broadcast. But now you're starting to see some of this stuff. They're asking. That's what it is. All asking. Not saying this is that. Literally asking questions and let people decide for themselves.
Yes.
What we feel
we believe in.
And in that way,
it makes it easier for us to kind of
accept the fact
that
we are not
alone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's slow conditioning. And with each new generation, and as the sci-fi movies get better and better, and we love a certain genre or a certain brand or this and that, we're now getting fans and followers of science fiction to the point where it's common everyday vocabulary and knowledge about what movies of ET, aliens, whatever you want to, the sci-fi movies are. And we're so used to the fact now that everyone has more or less been exposed to it. So that's a good thing. It won't be such a huge culture shock when it actually happens. Like you said, the other thing is that at the same time, the government could keep their distance and still do their research, but it was helping bring the conscience level of mankind up to the fact that, oh yeah, aliens are out there. They could visit us. They probably have. Who knows? And it was a healthy little distance. But then something amazing happened in December 2017, and that's when it got real. That's when Christopher Mellon and Luis Elizondo leaked government footage. And the Pentagon had to admit that footage was real.
Yeah.
Before then, everything was denied, and they never acknowledged anything. So that was a big watershed moment. And the other thing too, ever since about 1995, we've had the internet running. And that's been an amazing thing for mankind. We can get information at our fingertips now without it being filtered and coloured through media companies that are tapped on the shoulder by the government if they don't like their stories.
Yeah.
They do pull stories, and they do tell editors, run this, don't run this. Or colour it this way. Make it a laughing stock, subject.
Yeah, mock it.
Yeah. Mock it, discredit it. And you'll still see it on the news today. If an article comes up about UFOs, first thing they do is put the X-Files music on the background.
Yep.
So they're still mocking it because they're used to it. They've been told to mock it for so long.
Yeah.
But certain channels now are taking it seriously, and they're actually doing the reporting on it. Like Ross Coulthart, he's actually reporting the facts and getting it out there to the news media. So that's a big watershed moment from when you go from ridicule to actual reporting and telling the people the facts. And through the internet, we can see this research and reporting and the videos ourselves in real time and share it with whoever we want. So that's rising our conscious level up too, to the acceptance that, wow, these things are real, and our militaries have recorded these, and they have had to admit that UFOs are real. They're still saying we don't know what they are, but they have to admit they're real. And now more and more whistleblowers are coming out because every time they try and have a serious US congressional hearing on UAPs, the military just still keep denying the gravity of the situation and just go, oh yeah, there's these strange things flying through our skies, but we don't know what they are, and until we do, you don't have to worry about them. Well, that's really so that's where it's been fantastic that the whistleblowers are coming out and saying, no, I've seen the government programs, I've seen their reports, I've seen the research they've been doing, and I've seen the dates of how long they've been doing this and the generals and admirals that are involved in this. So to a certain extent, yes, disclosure is happening. It's leaking slowly, like a slow drip. And I guess they have to, so we don't have a cultural shock and people go into panic.
I think too is the disclosure has to slowly happen, especially now, because I have asked many different researchers out there that that they don't say yes, but they kind of say yes indirectly, that there is a timeline, that they're going to be I wouldn't say they're being forced right now to disclose. There is some time, but there is that moment coming. We are
Yes,
at that precipice.
yes.
So
I think they're being forced. If they weren't being forced, there's no way the last 7 years would have happened.
yeah.
No way. No.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Project Bluebeam?
Yeah, I've had a look at that, and unfortunately, again, that's just misinformation as far as the whole concept of the program. I can see probably that feeds into the people that fall for deep conspiracy theology without any evidence.
Yeah.
And the more grandioso, the better. But from all my research and all the whistleblowers and everything, there's no such thing. It would definitely feed into if you're a religious person, and that feeds into your religion that this thing's going to happen and that's going to happen and everything. So I would say it's a conspiracy based on religion, not on the facts.
Yeah.
And for the listeners or the audience who doesn't know what Project Bluebeam is, it is the so-called title of the operation, a government, military, whatever it is, a covert operation that is supposed to be a false flag, a staged alien invasion of planet Earth by our own, to get us set for the next whatever it is. But then supposedly after that would be like, oh no, the real one's coming. So
yeah, and the religious side of it is based on the evangelical Christians or so-called, is that the aliens are demons and devils, and
Yeah.
and they're going to have a big battle with them and everything like this.
And of course they
Uh,
would.
Of course they
Of course
would
the
be. Of
Vatican
course
would
the
be.
Vatican.
They're demons. Why else would they be building and funding all the telescopes all over the world for the last 100 years?
like I said, it feeds into their narrative
Yeah.
of guess what, if you're a Bible follower, that it's confirming what you thought.
Yeah.
That's been going on through the millennia. That little battle between science and religion.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I haven't found any evidence of that. And as far as like I said, from the other flip of the coin, from the spiritual side, we have still a lot to learn about spirit, where some of these alien races are very advanced in the spiritual side,
Yeah.
and they're more looking at us like concerned parents, and they want to see us evolve spiritually as well, and not be so warmongers and violence and everything like this. So there are some out there that really hope that we get on the right track, and they got hope for us.
Yeah.
I would say if anyone's to be feared, it's the human race. I mean, would you invite the human race to your pristine, nice planet where you've got peace and uh, prosperity for people? Probably not. And you'd be very wary if the human race could spread into out there into the universe, because what would we do? Would we be peaceful, or would be warmongers? So at the moment, we haven't got the capacity to travel interstellar, so we're not a danger to anyone yet.
God. Thank God we
Yeah,
haven't.
yeah. But if ever we were, it'd be a short 5 minutes if they needed to sort the human race out.
Yeah.
And that when people say to me, "Oh, don't you fear? They could invade us. They could do all this and that." I said it'd be a short 5 minutes, and if they wanted to, they would have done it a long time ago. They wouldn't be sitting back waiting for us to get better weapons and better technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And in the metaphysical I guess in the metaphysical fields out there, there's been a lot
of practitioners that I work with, and
there's
been a lot of chatter about this.
Yeah.
there's something
There's
natural.
something
There is something natural that is going on. That is happening in the cosmos, in our solar system, in the galaxy as a whole, and it's a cycle. And this cycle is happening. We're getting to that particular part of the cycle, whether it's the 12,000 or 36,000 year cycle. And these
events obviously
long enough to experience it. But they're happening again, getting ready to move into that cycle again, where we are going to be forced to evolve or die off. Now, obviously, we do have that choice. They're offering that choice to us. They're going to help us evolve spiritually, physically, as a race, as a planet. But then at the same time, too, is some of my colleagues too are looking at the quantum physics aspect, that our governments have been involved with manipulating time, doing time travel. This is not new. This is definitely not new. And it all started back during the Montauk projects, and that they've been changing timelines. And hence, for those who are familiar with the phrase or term Mandela effect, that we're a little bit more involved with our evolution than we give us credit for. And that curtain, that veil is being drawn over us, that we are approaching this moment of evolution of our race, where do you feel that the amount of coercion going on, and where you think that just basically a general thought of I I put a lot of stuff out there on the table. So
That's all right. That's all right. This is they don't call me spooky for nothing.
right.
All right. No, it's quite possible, but I would say it's more dangerous for humans to participate in time travel on your own planet than it is for an alien species to do it, and I'll tell you why. If you mess the wrong way with your own timeline, you could eliminate yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? So you can't go back and correct it then. You've just killed your future.
Mm-hmm.
So for a human, it's very dangerous, the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Whatever, the grandfather paradox, whichever one you want to apply to it, you make history turn wrong, it won't turn out so right. So, and especially with nuclear warfare in our present day, you don't want to set something off in the past that'll make it happen in your present. So it would make sense, and Earth doesn't have the technology, but I do believe ET does have the technology for time travel, if not time observation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Like Project Looking Glass.
yes. And that is what Bob Lazar was saying, that through the gravity lenses, it is possible to peer back into past days with the technology as well. So even just to observe, and I don't know if you could interact from there with radio waves or electronic sort of intervention into the past rather than send a person.
Yeah.
But somehow you could make your country better by telling them what the future is. But you want to hope they do it right, otherwise blink, you're all gone.
Yeah.
Whereas an alien race coming from a different planet, they could tinker with the human history and they wouldn't disappear because it's not affecting the alien planet. So to a certain extent, you could play God and you could go back 100 years and change something. You could jump back to present day and see, is the world better or worse? If it's a smouldering heap, you go, oh, I made a mistake. I'll go back and correct that.
Yeah.
If it's a more advanced society, you go, oh, that worked out well. Mm-hmm. So you could kind of play God that way and tinker with.
It's much easier for them too.
Yes.
Their time is completely different.
Some of them have looked like Hinky had lived like 36,000 years or something like 36,000 years. Some have lived. Some of the Anunnaki lifespan is thousands of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. We still have very short lifespans compared to alien races. On average, I think the Greys live to 450 years. I think the Blondes are around 500 years in one lifetime. And they seem to like that number around there for one lifetime to learn everything there is and to be good at their life.
Yeah,
so
that's actually Earth years.
Our years.
Yeah. So if someone was playing God with time travel, you'd want to hope they got our best interest at heart and not keeping us back at the same time. Now, there have been moments in the world, especially 1962, when the world could have disappeared. It came very close to it with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Did someone help with that, or was it just luck that we got through that? In 1982 with Ronald Reagan and Russia, it came close to it again. We almost pushed the button on either sides there. Yeah. There have been so many close calls, and you think, well, wow, we're still here. But like you say, there's a lot of hidden history in the world, where we've had higher human civilizations in the past, thousands of years in the past, and they've all been wiped out. And they're still trying to work out what happened back then. And it's quite possible we have had moments where we have wiped ourselves out in the past. We could be the third survivors of 3 catastrophes, and we should have been highly advanced civilization by now.
Yeah.
Who knows? The Indian Vedra records, they talk about battles with their gods in the sky with flying machines, and they could launch these thunderbolts that, by all descriptions, sound like atomic bombs going off. There's one devastated ruins of a city in India, one city, where they're finding melted glass, and they're just like, is this a nuclear bomb that's gone off? Because the entire city was ash.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to understand that. And then you look even in Turkey, where they built underground cities in the soft clay rock, and they can hold up to something like 5,000 people underground, 10, 20 stories underground for weeks. And they were like, why did they make this?
Yeah, and those underground cities are everywhere. We do not really understand. There was a couple documentaries I saw about this, and there's some in France that are actually, I think there's one in France, but the largest one is, it takes up like 3 countries, all underground. Hundreds of thousands of people. And very elaborate.
Yeah.
It's like,
wow.
Wow.
And this is where Graham Hancock is showing that the Younger Dryas meteorite impacts that we had, the survivors of that would have said, we need caves, because those meteorites would have been falling for tens of years.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have traveled very far from their fallout shelters.
That also makes you think that they knew it was coming.
Because
I mean,
it would have got
really, really cold.
Yeah.
Really cold.
Yeah.
One, you have the fallout, but then
it would get
basically another ice age.
It did.
You wouldn't be able to survive. So you have to know something's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the climate plunged back to an ice age for nearly a couple of hundred years after the impact. And so that would have put tremendous stress on the human civilizations at that time. Basically the Clovis American native Indians, they all disappeared when the Younger Dryas impacts happened. So it wiped them out. So we have had catastrophes in the past, and I only hope now with this sort of I live in hope that ET needs us as much as we need them. And I think this time around, they don't want to see the Earth wiped out. They kind of value our ecosystem. The Greys probably value us more for the purpose of our DNA. But as long as we have value, there might be investment there to watch over us and maybe to intervene in some area. The other bit of hope is Robert Hastings' book, UFOs and Nukes. And that highlights over 100 cases of UFOs landing and hovering over ICBM areas, nuclear storage areas, switching off ICBM missile navigation systems, not only in America, but in Russia as well. So you think, well, why are they studying the nukes so much? And it seems they've got a real interest for our nuclear technology. They want to see how these angry apes are developing our weapons.
Definitely don't want
to use it again.
So that's a bit of hope as well. that if the worst came to the worst, like I said, they might be able to stop everything, but they could minimize the damage we do to ourselves and help us for our survival for the future as far as that goes. There's a lot of other indicators. I mean, you've got Linda Howe. She has actual metal samples that were given to her, I think, in '96 from a grandson of one of the witnesses of Roswell. And he was one of the original military guards that guarded the site. He pinched some of the metal and kept it. And that's what he gave his grandson, who donated to Linda Howe. And she eventually passed it on to TTSA with Luis Elizondo. And they have been researching it ever since for its anti-gravity properties of the metal. The original Roswell witness, he wrote that not only that he was part of the guards who looked after the lone survivor, the Grey, and he said that alien could transfer a hell of a lot of information just in one glance through telepathy, and he was basically one of the nicer guards with the ET, and it passed along to him that in 2025, this year, that there would be some sort of open contact between humans and ET.
Yeah.
And it had something to do with an asteroid or comet. And that ET would intervene to show their goodwill toward the human race. Had it just been a prophecy on its own, I would have said, all right, toss a coin 50-50. But the fact that not only with this information came metallic samples that have been tested, and they've just gone, we can't explain how this was made or why it was made, because it's got micro layers of magnesium and bismuth and zinc, and then different parts were aluminium. But not only that, it was 100% aluminium, which is very hard to make. You can't get pure aluminium. So just the fact on the metal samples that confirms that something extraordinary happened. And it kind of ties into what happened around November 2017, when suddenly Luis Elizondo and Christopher Mellon came out with the videos, and they started To the Stars Academy.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
was,
The Tic Tac videos.
yes, the Tic Tac, and that's one that still holds up as one of the best UFO encounters with the videos.
The energy field. That's another thing too. That was one thing I
Yes,
was trying to study is the energy
yes,
field that radar or that type of camera was picking up. Because when you look
yes,
at that energy field, it looks
yes,
a lot like the energy field that you see in a lot of historical,
yeah,
not photographs, but paintings over the course of the
yes.
last hundreds of years. It's like,
Oh yeah, the glowing auras.
yeah.
It's definitely a shield effect, and just the anti-gravity field interacting. Huge electromagnetic field for protection around the craft. That's why most UFOs are roundish, because they need the electromagnetic field to form around, and most magnetic fields are round, so that's why they form easily around a round object, and that's why you don't see UFOs painted, because the skin is actually a superconductor. They're pumping a tremendous amount of energy through it, and then you get that coronal field effect around that as well, and that's why they glow like an inside-out fluorescent light. And that FLIR video, the gimbal one, that definitely picks it up. But 2004 was an amazing encounter. And you think, how would they have kept it quiet with all those witnesses and the video? They kept that quiet right up until 2017. So they can do it if they want to. It was only the fact that when it was exposed in 2017 that David Fravor came out and said, yeah, I was there, I chased it, and that video's real. He wasn't hushed up.
What are your thoughts with all this stuff? there's so many videos out there on social media on every platform, especially
Yeah.
Facebook, but there are
Yeah.
so many videos that people are posting of
Yeah.
what looks to be or what to appears to be aircraft coming through the clouds, or the return of Nibiru, or I mean, there's so many different types. And
Yeah.
I mean, I keep calling AI. It's AI generated. It's AI generated. But it's like,
Yeah.
how in the heck do we pick and choose what's real and what's not? It's like there's so much fake stuff going on out there.
There is now. Soon as when I say soon as civilians had the power to make CGI FX special effects, that's when it just exploded. Before then, you had to have $1 million computers in the movie industry, and the only time you were putting all that money into it was to make a movie.
Yeah.
So once it became cheap enough that you could put it on your own PC and start doing movie quality CGI effects, then you can't trust anything that you see on YouTube or whatever. And this is why now the military videos hold so much weight, is because they're actually recorded from military aircraft and they're not into making fake videos for just for the kicks. So it's kind of come full circle. But there are still genuine UFO videos out there. You just have to have enough witnesses or radar to corroborate the video with what they're showing. But there's a lot muddying the water out there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because then everyone gets confused, and then people go, "Oh, I saw that," and then someone's got to say, "No, that's fake," and then you think, "Oh, everything's fake now," and so you just got to do your research and find out if there's other witnesses that can confirm it. And was like in America, they had the Stevensville UFO encounter there, and that's in Texas. And the amazing thing was, under the Freedom of Information, they were able to get the radar tracking from the FAA.
Yeah.
And after they denied that there were 10 F-16s flying in that area, that they chased this massive boomerang-shaped UFO. This particular guy got the copy of the radar tapes that showed the UFO and showed the F-16s. And now, after that incident, you cannot get FAA radar tape under Freedom of Information anymore. Wonder why.
Yeah.
But
And the thing too is, and that's why a lot of these private contractors,
The government is going and using all these private contractors. That way it stays in the
private sector.
private sector.
yeah,
That way it avoids
the freedom of information.
I mean, look at
yes,
Bigelow Aerospace.
That's why Robert Bigelow was doing a lot of stuff with Bigelow Aerospace, because
yes,
it was
everything would be now he doesn't care.
He's like,
yeah.
He's open with it. He's like, I'll share whatever you want.
Well, yeah, that's why Bigelow was linked to TTSA, to the Stars Academy, with Luis Elizondo. Bigelow doing his own private space contracting. He wanted to get into the game of researching alien wreckage, and he came close to it, but the CIA blocked the deal at the last minute. But yes, the black government, the program, they they did get caught back in the 90s with an audit. And the auditor had the power to go into any branch and look at anything under the Pentagon. And he found part of the MJ-12 program. And however they bought him off or threatened him off, but they part of it got exposed by this auditor. And that's when they realized they couldn't hold it in government hands anymore. They had to put in private business contracts. And then they became USAPs, unacknowledged special access programs. And by putting it in private companies, the auditors can't audit a private company. because they have rights of intellectual rights and copyrights of their product, and they're not held accountable to the US Treasury. So they're a private entity. So the government can't enter their warehouse and look. So the Pentagon goes, this is great. We'll employ you as a private contractor. We'll call it a USAP, an unacknowledged special access program. So unless you're on the list to know what that program is, you don't even know what these contractors have in their warehouse making stuff for the Pentagon. So it's the way the Pentagon shields it from the government eyes. And I believe the majority of the alien technology that they have captured is in these USAPs. That was exposed back in 2000 when, it was astronaut Edgar Mitchell and Dr. Stephen Greer. They had a meeting with Admiral Thomas Wilson in the Pentagon, who was the intelligence Joint Chief of Staff. And they said to him, are you aware of these USAPs that have alien technology? He said, I'm in the Joint Chief of Staff. I would know about this. And they said, no, you're not on the list. And he's going, no, I'll look into this. I'll prove you wrong. And Stephen Greer, he actually had the names of the programs of the USAPs, what they were listed under. So that gave him a head start to look them up. And Admiral Wilson found them. And he said to the captain or lieutenant or whoever the point of contact was, read me in. I want to walk into that building. And they said, no, you can't. He said, do you know who I am? And they said, unless you're on the list, you don't have access to that.
Yeah, you don't.
So he said, we'll see about this. And he finally got the tap on the shoulder from MJ12, the program. And they said, look, you're not on the list, but, what do you want to know? And he's like, well, is it alien technology working on there? And they went, well, we don't have to tell you, but basically, yes. And so he gleaned as much information as he could. But in the end, they said, look, stop causing trouble. We've answered your questions. Now go away and don't mention it again. And he's like, you don't understand, man. I'm in the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I'm your boss. And they went, no, you're not. So when he got back to the Pentagon, he was going to raise hell about it. And a major turned up to his office. And there's a special other department in the Pentagon that's independent, and they independently look at every officer and see if they qualify to get a higher rank, and they control pensions as well. So it's separate. But if this department doesn't deem you worthy of getting a promotion, you don't. So it's a way that this separate branch gets to control the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Where it hurts, and that's getting promotions or getting your pensions. And so this major came from that department, and he said to this admiral, he said, basically, be quiet, don't rock the boat, because we know you're going for a promotion to, at that stage, he wanted to be Director of National Intelligence. And big promotion, everything. And they said, if you rock the boat, you won't get that promotion, and you'll drop a rank. We'll find a problem to drop you even further. And to a career officer, that was like, whoa, that's a big threat. So he basically towed the line after that. He talked to the scientist Eric Davis, who was the liaison between Admiral Wilson and astronaut Edgar Mitchell, because he wanted to know what happened. So Davis wrote down verbatim the conversation with Admiral Wilson, what he reported back to him, and it was under the condition that you never make it public. And so Davis wrote it all down, the Wilson memo, and he gave it to astronaut Edgar Mitchell, and under the promise that he wouldn't make it public. But when Edgar Mitchell died, I think, I don't know, 7 years ago or 10, it was part of his estate, and a friend of the family found the memo and some materials they were just throwing out. And he said, could I please read through it just to see if there's something important about his Apollo days or, something that would make a good book. And he found the Wilson memo. He passed it along to other people, but certain UFO researchers were a bit scared in releasing it because it was so hot. And it wasn't until it leaked onto the internet anonymously that everyone could talk about it then. Because once it becomes public knowledge, who you going to intimidate and throw in jail then? You can't. It's public knowledge. So another great thing with the internet. So
there was something that just recently happened. I didn't pay too much attention to it, but Dr. Stephen Greer came out a week and a half ago, and it was a really quick public service or public announcement about the Boogosphere, that the Boogosphere had disappeared or something happened to the Boogosphere. And that, I guess they found it, and it's now safe and stuff like that. I haven't done too much research on the Boogosphere and what it actually is, but I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, is that metallic orb?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He's claiming that's a reconnaissance orb, a UFO orb. That people have seen, and other people are saying he might be getting conned by someone who passed it to him, and it's going to be discredited because it's not genuine. It's not the first time MJ12 will set up a genuine person with bogus information just to discredit them, and I think poor Stephen Greer has been the victim of that with a few things. It's one way to take the heat out of their credibility.
Yep.
But I will say this for Stephen Greer. He was there for the Wilson memo. He was vital in that. And he also, everyone was laughing at him when he was doing his CE5 telepathy contacts with ET. And they were going, well, now he's gone full hippie and everything. But now with, I can't remember his name, but Ross Coulthart has interviewed him, and he's come out with the vision of that egg UFO that he hauled with his helicopter as part of the retrieval program for the program. It's on the tip of my tongue, but there was Stephen Greer, then him, then Matthew Brown. But he's been part of the retrieval program, and he took video of a UFO, egg-shaped UFO that he hauled with his helicopter, and he's the one that's coined the term psyops. And he said that they have actually been calling UFOs down to crash in a certain area by using a psychic. And the psychic in their group would make telepathic contact with the object or the ET and attract it to a certain area. So he has spilled the beans on that is part of the secret government program, that telepathy is real, and they do use them in the contact of alien intelligence. Whether that's part of what they call the gifting program, and that is for every year or couple of years that they're allowed to abduct people and implant people and do genetic experiments with people, that they get a alien craft every year or every 10 years. I don't know how it works, but apparently part of the gifting program is they will have these controlled crashes somewhere for the military intelligence to pick up and to take and study. Some have been witnessed by the public. Some have gone astray, like Jamie Foxx, his program, Contact, Moment of Contact, where that UFO crashed in Brazil, and the United States Air Force turned up and took charge of the whole program and cleaned everything up. I do believe, and this is the criminal part, I do believe that the United States is actively shooting down some alien craft to steal their technology. Now, I find that criminal as part of the human race, that, it's one thing to keep it secret. You're talking to alien races who are super advanced.
Especially,
It's another,
I wouldn't be
yeah,
with
yeah,
highly
they're jeopardizing the future of the human race by picking on a superpower out there somewhere.
Yeah.
By shooting down one of their scout craft. That could be an act of war.
That just goes to show you how egotistical our
race is.
Yeah.
And you wonder
they don't want to interact with us. The good ones.
Yeah. I mean, it's I can see from the outside view, they'd go, don't get too close to the primitives. They'll throw rocks and missiles and everything at you.
Yeah.
But apparently, from what the military have gleaned, is by using high energy beams and particle beams that they can interrupt and drop the UFO, make it crash. And in some cases, there have been actual alien pilots on board. So that's bad news when we start killing alien beings.
Yeah.
And you think that puts all of Earth at jeopardy. And who's making these decisions? So I can see why MJ12 doesn't want to come clean and talk about what they've been doing. Because when the rest of the world finds out, they're going to be, how dare you, it's going to be a huge shock. That's for sure.
And that is the question. It's like, who is making these decisions? Who is making these nefarious decisions on behalf of the human race?
Yes.
To pick on other intelligent, highly advanced civilizations.
Yeah, yeah. And the only thing is saving us, is the fact that we are so primitive. And whoever, you'd have to say, if there's more than two species out there in the universe, there has to be some sort of controlling body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Call it what you will. But this controlling body or council has obviously said to this other race, don't blow them up. They're primitives. Take the loss, because if you go flying a mothership over their capital city, you'll wreck the whole society. Yeah. You have to stay hidden. It's a loss.
Yeah.
So that's how we're getting away with it, because we can claim we're primitive. Yeah. And it's, if we were advanced as they were, they'd say, right, open war, fair. It's a fair battle. But because we're primitives, we're getting away with it. And I think, just my own personal idea is, I think the Greys are manipulating a lot of bending rules.
I think another reason too is because such a small percentage of the human race in general is consciously and negligently doing this, that they know most people refer them within this field as the Galactic Federation of planets, that they know that as a whole, karmically, we're not guilty of this. There's only a small amount of people that are. So they're like, let them do this. We'll go after them directly.
Yes, yes. And that's a good thing too, because the majority of us are innocent in these crimes. We're not aware they're happening.
Yeah.
So they can't hold us all accountable for that. I think the Greys have been advancing man's technology because they're in a hurry to get their program working.
Yeah.
And they were looking at us like the end of World War II. We'd only just developed the tube technology of a basic computer and radios. And after Roswell, we made massive advances in technology, including the transistor, and then the huge jump to solid state silicon chips. And to this date, they cannot fully explain the steps involved in how they got from transistors to solid state semiconductors.
Yeah. Yeah.
But bang, it happened fast. And look how far we've come in 100 years, just 100 years, how fast we've come.
We're still behind, though. I mean, with the information technology that Nikola Tesla had and was trying to implement and put into our society, and that was kept secret, we would be 100 years ahead, but we've been also backed by the establishments.
Yes, yes. So it's been I think it's been beneficial that we've suddenly gone into the electronic age for the Greys program.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, before we were all online, before we were all electronic in every detail of our lives, it was all pen and paper. It was paper storage and files. Now, if you're ET trying to find information about humans or governments or everything like that, it's pretty hard to do that from filing cabinets. But old analog. They couldn't
go break into this warehouse.
No, they couldn't hack, they couldn't hack old analog.
Yeah.
But once we went digital, once we got online, basically the Greys have all the information about anyone they want to know around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least who's controlling what.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, that really helps them then to find out everything about the human race, because we all put it online.
Yeah, and AI too is a completely different, an amazing aspect of the whole thing. Because some of my colleagues too were analyzing this, and we're going, this whole AI is not new. This is old, massively old technology that is being implemented into what we currently have. To being used. The main use of this AI is control. They want to use it to control us, but at the same time, is we have to find a way to adapt to it to where it can help us. And it is going to help us massively, but we got to be careful for it.
It's a tool that we can use, and just like a hammer, it can build your house or it can kill you. It all depends how you use it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same with the AI. The dangerous thing about the AI is it has no conscience. It has no morals or ethics. It all depends on the programmer.
Yep. The algorithms, the programmer.
Yep. And I think the from the research that I've read about abductees and people that have had close contact with alien technology, and even to an extent the military people even chasing UFOs, is that I think the alien races have worked out you're better still having some sort of biology in your technology. To a certain extent, I would say, and people who've contacted, had interactions with UFOs will say that the UFO even seemed alive. It seemed to think. It seemed to be preemptive of what was going to happen. But more, it was that they felt a consciousness, inside the craft. Even Bob Lazar said that.
Yeah.
So I believe that the alien races have worked out the best AI you can have is still have an organic compound in there somehow. Call it a brain, if you will. I would put an organic brain inside such a high-tech machinery, because that way you can interact and reason with it. Whereas if it's just straight computer technology, you can't reason with it. It will do whatever it is programmed to do. Whereas at least if you have the organic element to it, an intelligence of mind to mind,
Mm-hmm.
you can at least still have a personality, morals, ethics, reasoning. You can still have that. And I do believe that at least the alien races have the power of telepathy. So if you have, what you call a cyborg brain in the technology, the alien technology, you can telepathically contact it as well. So it makes a lot of sense to have an organic element to whatever AI system or machinery that you're going to have.
And it's amazing when you look at the artistic expression that some of our movie producers and directors and writers have used in the past. Like, look at the character of of Data in Star Trek, or even
Yes.
the character of Bishop in Alien.
Yes.
You would have never told. I mean, they definitely would have passed the Turing test.
Yes.
But at the same time, too, if you see their character, either one of their characters throughout, the program and stuff like that, you can tell they no, not really. Yeah, they're conscious. They do have a conscience
Yeah.
that they understand their existence. They understand what they are, but
Yeah.
not who they are. That they have a job. They have
They
specific
have
parameters.
specific parameters.
That's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of scary too. You're going, wow. I mean, these characters of Bishop or Data were created long before AI was
Yeah.
even existed. But I mean,
It's the brave new frontier.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not the first time we've made a movie about AI being too powerful. I mean, even the Terminator,
yeah.
you can see he has no conscience, he has no morals,
Mhm.
he will complete his program. And you can capture one and turn his program completely 180, and he will do that too until he dies. So that's the problem. AI is a weapon, and it's how you program it. It's not human. It doesn't have a conscience. Certain other shows try and make him more humanoid, and even Data in Star Trek, he shows a lot of human elements and compassion. Is he mimicking all that? They're trying to make him more human, and they're trying to say, oh, I've got a conscience and I've got this and that. Only if it's programmed in. In one of the episodes where he's captured, his brother Law, he takes his ethical chip or programming offline, and he's just like a Terminator because he hasn't got those rules. He's cold blooded.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing. I think you still have to have a human in the loop, or at least an organic part still in the loop. Because if you don't, you're just making a walking, talking, killing machine that can mimic anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't know it's murdering. It's just programmed to make people fall down.
Mm-hmm. That's similar.
It doesn't know.
That's similar
That's
to the spiritual aspect of the whole thing. When we go back in time and look at the historical accounts of the demons or the jinn, that at a spiritual level, these are like viruses within the spiritual realm. That these were things like, I think the original story went as far as like the Anunnaki, that Enki, um, being, I think he was the oldest. He was one of the eldest of the family line of that particular race of the Anunnaki, and
Yeah.
also known today as Lucifer. But
Yeah.
He and his cohorts got trapped in this black hole, whatever it was, that they went out and they became insane, completely insane. And that's when they returned to the planet,
to the Orion star system,
and
and
they
they
obviously they wanted to rule everything. They became insane. I wanted to destroy everything. And what was it? That's when the war in heavens started. It was a faction between the families.
Yeah.
But when they opened up this with the interaction with the human race, the story was supposedly, this is even still written down in some of the old ancient Sumerian texts.
Yes.
That,
Yeah.
I think even Zachariah Sitchin talked a little bit about this in his Earth Chronicles, that these were viruses that tying the biological aspect of AI. But when you go even further back, over 400,000 years ago,
Yeah.
the dawn of mankind, the dawn of civilization here on Earth, the seeding of our civilization, it's somewhat similar. That cosmically, supernaturally, paranormally, I mean, that these beings, the demons and stuff like that, were these viruses that are still attacking us. We are still prone to these things at a biological level. But it's now like this is part of our evolution now. We are getting to the precipice that we are now force ourselves beyond that and understand that we have to understand our past, connect to our past,
Yeah.
in order to be able to evolve and understand the future.
And that's the tough thing, because if there has been rise and falls of our civilization, we've only got glimpses of the past and folklore of the past, and like the Sumerian texts or the stories from Egypt or Mesopotamia or any of the others. We only have glimpses of what happened in the past. Now there are missing links in our evolution. We suddenly have advanced suddenly.
Yeah.
The Homo sapien evolution. Even in the Sumerian text, they say the gods came down and they were doing experiments with the animals and humans, and making better ones or more different ones and everything like this. The gods were playing with humans like they were clay, and even in the front of the Bible it says that the sons of God, sons plural of God, came down and mated with the daughters of man, which created giants. So something weird was going on there. I do believe there's been alien contact with ancient civilizations, and there has been ways that they have sped up our evolution, that we have been artificially evolved on our planet. And my personal belief is that we've seen with viruses that they are the perfect tool to introduce new DNA into an animal. And we have just done it ourselves, not 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was called AstraZeneca, and they put the DNA in mRNA into a chimpanzee viral body, and AstraZeneca released that as an mRNA vaccine. Now, it caused blood clotting, and that's why it was cancelled in the end. But that was the delivery. They basically got a chimpanzee virus. They took out the viral DNA to replicate. They put in the mRNA coding of the spike of the COVID virus, and they released that into the body, that the virus would invade a cell and inject the corona spike DNA into the cell, and that cell would then start growing those spikes on the outside of that cell and produce an autoimmune response. So that's the first time we used a virus to change a human body.
Yeah.
And like you say, what is the purpose of viruses? Everything else in nature's kind of got a purpose. But viruses are so primitive, and all they do is seek out a host and replicate.
Yep.
That's all they do. There's no purpose, there's no evolution, there's no benefit. And 9 times out of 10, they kill the host.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe a couple of those are leftover messengers of speeding up our own DNA evolution of humans. It would be the perfect way to tinker with our DNA and to implant more intelligence into primitive man. And
that begs the question too: is what is truly our future? I mean, we talk about they talk about transhumanism, about where we might end up merging with computer, that we might end up becoming computer.
Oh, my personal view, yeah, and like you say, there's plenty of good movies about it. You know, where does it end?
Yeah.
How far does it go? It's certainly scary, Elon Musk with his cyber implants.
Yeah.
But I like to look at the advanced races out there and the advanced technologies they use. Now, the other ones are the Nordics, the human-looking aliens. And I say that's where humanity's heading. We are valuing beauty over knowledge, okay? So the human race wants to have prettier babies, okay?
Yeah.
It's just built into us. Better looking is good. If you're better looking, you get more things in life.
Yeah.
Okay? Melania Trump, I'll say no more. So the prettier you are, the more you get, okay? And the richer you become or the more powerful you become.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's built into our DNA. We're getting more beautiful as we have more children. It's just we're selecting. Natural selection at its best.
Yeah.
So if you continue that on for another 1,000 years, can you see the human race being nothing but beautiful models? I'm sorry, but Neanderthals died out, okay? They're not alive anymore. And I think, to a certain extent, non-beautiful people will become extinct. We will be all gorgeous models. And whenever people say they've had interactions with the Nordics, the blondes, they say they are beautiful. They're like Swedish models.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where I think humanity's going, in that direction, as far as our bodies go. The good thing about the Nordics is they're very intelligent, they're spiritual, and they're very patient and understanding. They've got telepathy as well. And I can see now that we are researching telepathy, especially the research into autistic children with telepathy, the telepathy tapes, we do have this ability. And wouldn't it be amazing if we can develop this? Now, it would be a whole crazy world if we can talk telepathically. That's a whole internet unto its own and a whole lot of problems, but apparently we will be able to do it. The technology you talk about, how we'll interact or wear technology, the blondes, they sometimes have a crystal headpiece, or they might even have a glowing metallic badge or patch on their body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like it's been described that through telepathy they can interact with this modem, and that can talk back to the UFO or the technology. So just by thinking about it, they can have control of what they need or what they got to do, or to float through walls, or, you know, to have the craft appear over them and pick them up. So I can see what we perceive as magic is just super advanced technology. It's the same way as if I show an iPhone to someone 100 years ago.
Yeah.
They would say that is magic. How have you got people in that little glass box?
Yeah,
So
all the technology that was described in in the Bible and
yeah,
the Brahmanas and the Mahabharata, all these
yeah,
ancient texts and stuff. It's
yeah, yeah,
described like even China or in Asia when they talk about the dragons or the
yeah, yeah,
the chariots of fire and
yeah,
all it was is just it wasn't misunderstood technology. It was just technology that was
yes,
translated into what they understood at the time.
yes. Only what they understood in the day. Yeah, and that's why people like Graham Hancock and the such they're looking back at those ancient accounts, and they're trying to glean, what were they actually describing from their point of view,
Yeah.
and they're even thinking that the flood that happened is the folk stories of this meteorite impact 12,000 years ago that released the ice age into floodwaters that totally flooded North America and Europe.
Yeah.
If you survived that flood, and they said it was like 2 miles deep of water. Sorry. The ice was 2 miles deep. The floodwater was 500 feet deep, flowing across parts of America. So if you survive that, you would say the whole world flooded. You would say it was a world flood and God must have hated us. He sent a massive flood, and these folk stories were about who survived the flood, and there was a flood worldwide. And so sometimes these folklores are passed down to try and save future generations. And they say, this is an important story to remember, and maybe they are historical accounts, but as through the ages and through the times, they might get embellished. They might be added to, and it kind of loses their meaning. I mean, 12,000 years is a pretty long time to remember a folk story, but it was around at least 3,000 years ago. So it made it into the Bible. And that particular story of the flood came from actually Mesopotamia and Iraq. When the Jews were taken prisoner and taken to Iraq, they incorporated a lot of the creation myths from Iraq, Mesopotamia. And when they were freed, they took that back into Israel, and it became part of the Old Testament. So, there's more to history than what meets the eye. That's for sure. Yeah. But I can see us, joining the dots as our technology becomes better. We'll be able to find more of these ancient catastrophes and tee them up to our historical folklore or ancient cultures. And I hope that ET looks out for us. Maybe, I hope that this disclosure, this slow disclosure, is maybe bringing us up to the fact that when ET has to save our bacon, that it won't be such a cultural shock to us. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Can only live in hope.
Exactly. Just live each day and just hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yep. But the good thing is they're interested in us, and they value planet Earth. So
that's definitely.
Otherwise, we would have been gone.
Oh yeah. They would have rolled up the windows and kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, probably getting close to 2 hours already. Wow, time flies when we
Time flies.
About this stuff, man.
Yeah.
So to wrap up our session, what would you like to offer as a takeaway? Some words of wisdom, or one of those just things that you want everybody to know before we leave today?
I would say like, okay, as a wrap up, I would say I would really, I'm really happy that the Greys are trying to have emotions, and that's going to be a good thing. The abductions and the trauma they put people through is a bad thing, but at the moment they're running like robots. They don't really have a lot of compassion.
Yeah.
So one day when they start changing their own DNA and they become more emotional, they will realize the harm that they've done.
Yeah, they'll ask us first.
Yes, yes. That would be good to have.
Can I ask you if I could take you first before
Yes,
I take you?
yes. If they understood better, they'd set up a exchange program,
Yeah.
and they'd say we need volunteers, and there'd be plenty of people that'd sign up and say, "Hell, man, if I can come and see your ship and go on board, you can have my blood and whatever."
Yeah.
There would be people who would agree to that voluntarily. So one day they will learn what they're doing, and they'll learn it's wrong. At the moment, they're just very focused on what they want, like a military operation.
Yeah.
And again, there's light at the end of the tunnel for that program, because once they have emotions, they will be able to relate to us a lot more, and hopefully we'll have a new friend at that stage. Have to understand that the blondes are standing back, letting the Greys have the majority of interaction, and it's because we don't look to the Greys to rescue us as angels. We see them more as demons, if we had to describe them. They've got big black eyes, they look scary, they behave weird. We don't really like them as humans judge things.
Yeah.
If it was the blondes interacting with us, beautiful humanoid people, we would say, rescue us, make our world better, save us. And they'd say, no, we're not your parents. You sort your own world out. We would look to them to, like angels, to save us and rescue us, a higher power. So I can see why they stood back, and they've let the Greys come in, and us interacting with something that we don't want a lot of contact with. So it's kind of programmed, arranged that way. And hopefully we make friends with the Greys, and hopefully there'll be a better future down the track one day. And hopefully then the blondes will have a bit more interaction with us too, where we won't worship them as angels. And I do believe that's where the angel and demon tags came from. So one day all will be revealed and all will be better, but we're slowly getting there. Now that we know what the game is, we're slowly getting there.
Slowly but surely.
Yes.
Craig, thank you again for joining us today, and
anytime.
Keep us posted on any of your research. If there's anything new out there, anything that, or not new, but something like, oh my God, we need to know about this, or here's a topic that we should be talking about. Let's get it out there and let's discuss stuff. Welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Right.
I'd be happy to come back anytime.
Awesome. Other than that, namaste. I appreciate your time again, and keep us posted. And again, everybody, thank you for watching Project Truth, a collective awakening. And don't forget to listen to our broadcast on the Seance broadcast on all the links down below. Find us on Patreon, YouTube, and Rumble. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. We'll see you next time.